Hey everybody, on this episode of Box Office Breakdown, we're breaking down two top titles, films. They're in the top 5. One took place in a galaxy far, far away, Rogue One. The other one took place in at a time not long ago, 1969. Let's do it.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Box Office Breakdown.
Oh, hey everybody, welcome to Box Office Breakdown here on Popcorn Talk. This, of course, is the show where we gather every week to look at the box office that was, and then we like to...
Is it... prognosticate?
Oh my word. That was incredible. That. Yes, Quinn Scillian.
Yeah.
We prognosticate.
It's Sunday night, people. Wake up.
That's right. We are
our new day and our new day.
Our new night, same time.
Well,
same night. Yeah. Same time, different night. Though we're on Sundays now. Mm-hmm. Just ready to start your work week off with some hot box office talk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your host, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie.
Hey guys, my name's Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane.
I'm Quinn Scillian. You can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian.
And of course, folks, you can always like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We will have the chat up and running in just a moment so you guys can interact. We love hearing your thoughts about anything in the box office that was this past weekend or anything that's on your mind about any films coming out.
Anything really.
Later this
Whatever
year.
you're thinking, what's going on in your life, we want to know.
There you go. What'd you have for dinner?
Yeah.
Chime away. Quinn is curious.
I want to know.
Yeah, so...
I was just about to say what I had, and I'm like, oh, that was rhetorical.
No, Kari Lane, please, go ahead. Take that moment.
Actually, now you got me piqued my interest.
What did you have?
What'd you have?
I had a bison burger and asparagus. And
that sounds delicious.
I've been doing a lot of cooking. So if you guys go to my Instagram pages, I've found a lot of great and easy recipes that I've been putting on my
That's so fun.
Instagram account. And
gotta love a good food blog.
Yes.
Interesting, and you brought that food to eat here tonight, and yet...
I did. I didn't share with you? Oh, I'll make some you want me? I'll bring food.
No,
okay.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine, Kari Lane. That's all right.
Yeah.
So yes, we've got the chat running, and we're going to jump into the top 5 this week at the box office. Now, Kari Lane mentioned it on Twitter. I just want to give her a shout out. She really nailed. Yes, Hidden Fences. No, it's just a joke about the Golden Globes today. Everybody calling it that.
That was a little rough.
Was that a joke?
Oh well,
that was both
people,
Michael
accidentally.
Keaton and I think Jenna Bush on the red carpet.
We're accidentally
It's a
calling
little
it.
bit of a
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, guys, we talked about it last week, and I want to point out some of you commented on the video how, and I want to clarify too, because I'm like, you're not wrong, but you're not quite right. Frank last time didn't include Hidden Figures as a top 5 for the weekend because it had already come out, so it wasn't quite a new release the same way that we normally do, so that's why we didn't really include it in our top 5 selection, but it is definitely one that should be included because clearly it was number 2 at the box office. And found an article online and retweeted that and how that was took kind of, not necessarily by surprise, but definitely took the box office by storm.
Absolutely. It had just almost came close to dethroning our champion that's been up there for the past few weeks, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. I know Quinn is excited about talking about Rogue One because I know you were there opening night seeing that film.
I didn't see opening night, but I did see it this week.
Oh, look at that!
And so I contributed to the $21 million there.
Yeah.
I have a lot of feelings about Rogue One.
Okay.
I think it was such a blast.
Okay.
Maybe on the long side. And I think that what I really appreciated about it is that it kind of felt like watching, the first original movies in the sense that, like, you weren't sitting there trying to, like, really reference all the other movies while you're watching it, which I think kind of happens now with all the other ones that have come out. Like, you can't really watch, you really got to feel like watching Star Wars in a vacuum. Like, you got to just kind of like enjoy the world without having to constantly like, relate it to everything else. But I think like where that kind of, what you kind of had to take away, like what kind of made that, I don't know. I think like, dang it, what am I trying to say?
Started good.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Like there was like, and then there was like a balance where, because that was really, really cool. It was a one-off, so you weren't as emotionally invested, which was what the kind of payoff was there for that. So I think that's kind of what made it like. But I gotta say, I thought stylistically it was so 70s, so fun. I loved the CGI was insanely good, and it was I think as a whole it was about as much fun as you can have in a movie theater for sure.
Cool.
Nice. How did you like seeing young Carrie Fisher?
That was cool, right? I mean, I just thought that was like, it was really, really well done.
We had mixed feelings of, I felt for hers, it was short enough that it still looks weird to me.
Of course it does, but it still is like, I mean, it's like a feat in itself.
But it was short enough that it wasn't so bothersome. But the other character, where it was constantly shown,
it was you couldn't really unthink about it. I think that's definitely
true. I was like,
true.
that's fake. Yeah.
I was like, it's really, really cool.
Yes.
But I definitely was like noticing it.
They're happy you're back.
Hi guys.
Hear that? What was cool is that Nightline here in the States, they had a story last week about how they did the effects work for that, how they recreated Peter Cushing and a little bit of Carrie Fisher for that, and it was really cool just seeing the actor who had the big huge rig and the motion capture dots all over his face, and how much.
Where'd you see that?
It's on Nightline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And what the cool thing is that they got in luck because Peter Cushing was in Top Secret, that Val Kilmer comedy, and they had a face mask made for him because they had made a prosthetic for him.
That is so funny.
So they had one that was very similar to a lot closer in age to when he was doing that role.
Yeah.
So it was cool they were able to scan that in and use that as a template, kind of rebuild his face.
I definitely agree though that you didn't not notice it.
Yeah.
And like it really depends on if that's gonna be something that makes you like really like a movie, or if that's gonna be something that pulls you out of it.
Well, you know what's funny though is like you can, because it's a human face and you know what it's supposed to look like, that's why it's more bothersome versus seeing like an alien face, because you go, well, that's not right.
Yeah.
But it's something we don't know, so we don't care. But seeing the human face and it's just a little bit off, you're like,
Yeah, it almost reminds me a little bit of the Christmas, what is the Express with the train?
Polar Express.
Polar Express.
He brought that one
where
up.
it's like almost kind of just like, why not just make it with people? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that one wasn't stylized.
Yeah.
Can we make the chat font a little bigger, please? Need some bigger glasses.
But either way, it's always just fun. It's always
not
fun
that big. Almost.
to watch a Star Wars movie. It's exciting. It's
That's
always
good.
good.
Thank you.
Maybe not Star Wars Lego, but
Come on. But you say now we live in a world where pretty much every year we're going to get like a Star Wars film.
yeah.
Are you, Gwen, are you excited about it? You didn't
No,
seem excited.
I'm not. I mean, like, listen, come on. I love Star Wars. I've said this a million times about how I feel about these trilogies and these never-ending sequels.
The one thing I'd be
boring.
curious about is after episode 9 comes out, how are they gonna continue the story past that? And if so, is it always gonna be in the form of trilogies with the main storyline?
True that. Okay.
Or
That's a good
will they
question.
just break off into just like single stories, kind of continuing past episode 9?
I mean,
I
they're
just
just
think
going
it's-
to keep making money. I don't know.
Yeah, Star Wars universe is amazing of how many like offshoots there are. Like there's animated movies, there like drawn ones, there's computer animated, there's comics, there's books, there's just
TV show they had going on,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah, they've got the Clone Wars, they've got
yeah.
Rebels now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's tons.
Yeah.
There's so much out there.
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm so conflicted on this all the time.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to see like a franchise that I mean they had that expanded universe, which is basically just in novels and comic books that Dark Horse had
And
done.
fan films.
Yes.
That too.
But then basically just doing this whole kind of reset with Force Awakens and just kind of erasing all that expanded universe and just starting again from scratch.
Yeah.
And kind of building out. So kind of interesting that you take that huge chunk and start away. The stories still exist and people can enjoy them, but in terms of
You
mattering
guys, is
now-
anybody else getting a little sick of the Death Star?
Yeah, I don't want the Empire and whatever films come up next to always have some kind of spherical object that takes
Yeah.
on people. Enough of that. Enough of the
it's
spheres.
a little bit too
Guys, please, no.
Yes. Fair enough. Yeah.
But as we're talking about space and moons and things like that, why don't we talk about Hidden Figures?
Oh,
Good job being number 2.
Look at that. It came in $21.8 million from Fox. And I am
Which
excited to see this.
barely Star Wars. We need to say Star Wars is only at $21,972 versus Hidden Figures $21,800.
$172,000.
very
photo
close.
finish there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good job.
Have you seen it yet?
Not yet, but I want to.
No.
Really bad.
I'm excited to check it out.
I haven't had time, but I want to.
No, we saw a little like kind of nod to that in Timeless.
Yes,
so
that was
excited to
so
see a
fun.
further in-depth exploration
Yes.
of that story. And coming in at number 3, Illumination Entertainment's and Universal's Sing, $19.57 million.
Was this perhaps the box office bet movie by any chance?
No,
No.
our box office bet is still to come.
Okay, no, I was wondering about when it came out. I don't know. I wasn't here that week, because that seems like the kind of one that the people in the chat would really want us to.
See Sing.
Yeah.
Our
Well, we had talked about. I was like, maybe I'd watch it like when it's free.
I'm not gonna watch.
Yeah, in fact, we didn't even. As we're talking about box office bet for 1 second to do a tangent. I lost a bet to go see Office Christmas Party and never did talk about that.
Oh, did you see it?
Yes, I did go. We honor our bets here on
We
box
sure
office.
do. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks, but
Or
in
later
fact,
if you miss it.
Yeah, I mean on iTunes, what popped up and there's Max
Oh.
Steel. Max Steel is ready.
oh,
for
is
your-
it actually there?
It's there.
Are we
Oh.
talking a $2.99 rental fee or a $6.99 rental fee?
Well, right now I think it's available just for purchase, but then within a week or two it'll be available for rent.
I know. I gotta see. All right, I gotta see it. I know that.
Well, I never saw the
There really will be no more excuses.
Medea's Halloween one. I never saw that one.
Boo?
Yeah.
but
On
don't-
Medea Halloween?
Don't worry,
Yeah, I missed
we haven't
that.
forgotten either of the chat.
Oh, okay.
No, I
Yeah,
know.
we're coming for you. We're coming for you, Kari.
Holding us responsible.
That'd
Holding
be
us
perfect for
accountable.
Valentine's Day to recap Boo and Medea Halloween. That's a perfect time to recount that other holiday special.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Fine
Sure.
family fun.
Yeah. But Office Christmas Party was just, what you expected. You've seen the trailer. You're just like, okay.
Was it funny? Did you laugh?
Or was it not your kind of humor? Because that's the problem with a lot of comedies lately is like either it's not necessarily maybe they're bad or good. It's just sometimes it's certain type of humor that some people just.
Like, how was Jennifer?
She was fine, and I mean, I'm a huge Jason Bateman fan, so I
Okay.
really enjoy him. So it was cool. I mean, I'm always happy to. It wasn't an unpleasant experience, but you're just
Yeah.
watching and going, all right, cool.
All right.
That was time. That was time spent. It's not terrible, but it's not
Isn't
like
it weird when you
oh
think
my
about the
gosh.
fact that they have to film those Christmas movies in like August?
That's right.
You know, in the
Yes,
middle of the
October.
summer.
I did
Yeah.
background on Mindy Project one time, and we had to wear our coats in a hot
Yeah,
Los Angeles
especially
October.
because LA is warm even in
year round,
any
man.
time of
yeah.
year.
So now we get to number 4 in the box office, which was the subject of this past week's box office
There you
bet.
go.
That is Underworld Blood Wars.
How do we feel about 13 million for that? Did we feel like it delivered or under-delivered?
It seems kind of weak. No, it's
compared to
weak
the other
because
ones-
the other two were in the mid-20s.
Yeah, the previous 3 all landed between 21 and 26 million.
If we didn't have a Star Wars movie in the box office right now, I feel like we would have seen that number be pretty high. But if I just feel like everyone is like,
Maybe.
I still want to go see the Star Wars movie. If you're going to go see an action movie, you're probably going to go see that one.
Touche.
that's very
Good
true.
point. Yeah.
It did bring in $13.1 million, and according to our box office bet, I went with 22 million.
I think
Kari
I had
Lane
higher, yeah.
went with 26.
It's all right. I'm seeing it tomorrow.
Oh, look at this! Excited.
I rewatched the first one, and then I own the other two. So
I
I'll be
have
watching
never
those.
seen an Underworld movie.
I've seen them and
Ever.
But you know what they are,
yeah,
right?
of course I know what they are.
Well, they have a really good behind the scenes featurette stuff on the unrated. I don't know if they're on the regular rated version, but the unrated version, and then they talk about like how, which I do think at that time it was a pretty cool like new vampire type of movie.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I still enjoyed it rewatching it now, but I wasn't quite as like wow. But when it came out, it was the like, oh my goodness, like a Matrix-y vampire movie. Because some people are like, well, in the comments on IMDb, people are like, oh my gosh, it's so much like Matrix. I'm like, well, it's kind of around the same time period and the style-ish, which I see that, but I'm like, but no, very different.
But this kind of feels like it's in this weird pattern we've been seeing lately about like these movies that were pretty big like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and now all of a sudden, like kind of like a little too late, we're getting like another installment, and it's kind of
It's a
like
little bit late, yeah.
Where's the excitement about it, you know?
well, because it was 5 years between
Yeah, so-
But we've
2
seen
and 3.
how many of those have we seen like in the
Yeah.
last couple months, like with
Oh.
Bridget
No.
Jones and whatever else.
Oh, yes, yeah.
It's very bizarre.
Yeah,
And then technically those numbers would be even shorter because they had the third one. They had Rise of the Lycans in between there.
that's true.
So,
Where I think she has like a cameo at the end.
yeah.
Doesn't she? Yeah. But I felt like the series never, and I'd love to know the behind the scenes process because I feel like Scott Speedman, whether he was not interested or he was not available or
Oh,
they wanted to
right.
they didn't care about his character as much, but he seemed so integral to the plot, and yet they had to keep taking him away for whatever reason, whatever real world reasons were.
I want to
there.
know what the real world reason is as well because I looked and he never did anything else huge on his credits later. Like I kind of would understand if he had like some other movie and he got huge and then he's like, I don't really want to do that again. But he not really.
Yeah.
His credits are just a couple other random little meh things, you know. Oh, someone's mentioning Resident Evils. Yes, I'm seeing all those too.
Yes.
I own those as well. But those ones I'm like, oh, I'm happy to go with that franchise. But
People in the chat keep talking about Passengers. Did anybody see that?
I didn't see it.
We're not seeing it on the box office either. Which,
No, it
Yeah.
did go underneath number 5. Kind
Okay.
of dropped.
Womp womp.
Yeah, which we thought it was going to.
open Christmas Day, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. See, good point. So someone brought up in the chat that Celine, yes, the main character is a badass, but the love story has always dragged it down for a bit for me. In rewatching the first one, there's actually not that much of a love story at all, and only in the unrated version is there a kiss between her and Michael in one little scene, and that's the most romance that happens between them. I mean, they kind of have a chemistry going on, but there's no passionate kiss. In the unrated, like if you look, there's different cuts of these that you're like, wait, why are there different ones? But she has one quick little kiss with him, and then like that's it. So it's just more. She wants to know why do the Lycans want him, and like learning about that, and they have a connection. But it's not like I love you. You're all that means to me.
Yeah, it just seemed like as much as they built up his character to be so important.
No, but his character was very important.
Yeah.
It would be great to continue that, but then they don't. So then you're like,
Yeah, I'm like, all right, what's going on?
yeah,
Got it.
true that. Yeah.
And then coming out number 5, running out the box office is La La Land.
I feel
from
that's-
Lionsgate, $10 million straight up.
Word of mouth has definitely pushed that one up.
Yeah, have you guys seen it?
Yes, I have.
Not yet.
What did you think?
I loved it. You know, I watched I got a bunch of screeners.
No, Quinn's connected, guys.
So
Just
I'm
so you know.
pretty cool. And I watched a bunch, and it's funny because like La La Land was one of the ones where I knew I was gonna like it. I knew already I was gonna like it. I went in liking it. I thought it was so great. It was this wonderful little hybrid of like an indie movie and like a musical. It was like this little kind of like baby thing that was like really, really sweet, and it was just so quaint, and it was just like it was simple, and I was really nervous that it was like gonna be like Emma Stone being like really Emma Stone. It was gonna be like Ryan Gosling being like really Ryan Gosling, but it wasn't. They were like so in it, and they were in the world, and it was sweet, and it wasn't overdone. It just was like a really nice story, and and I liked that they weren't these like I thought it was really great that they weren't these like amazing singer dancers. You know what I mean? Because like it wasn't this like huge production. It was just freaking quaint. Loved it.
For one side, a second. What is Ryan Gosling being very Ryan Gosling?
Like Brooklyn. He's not even from there. You know what I mean? But he always like talks like he's from there. and he wasn't. He was so, you know, because like you kind of feel like the actor will precede the part, but they didn't. It was really great, and I think they work really well together. And I thought, you know, they kind of had, you know, a lot of it was kind of like nice little realism, and then they would kind of go into this kind of very surreal kind of like homage to, you know, 1940s musicals and all that. And I just thought it was a really, really good nod to it while also being really modern. It was cool.
Yeah, it's like, I am so mixed on how I feel about that film.
Wait, you did see it?
I did see it.
Oh, okay.
And so part of me was like, yeah, there were some nice touches to it, and the way they executed certain ideas were cool, but then I also feel like it's a story that's a very cliche story.
Yeah.
But I mean, it all depends. I mean, but every story's been
You know,
told
I do
before.
think
It
it
all
was
matters.
interesting tonight at the Golden Globes and being like, we never thought we'd get this movie made. And everyone's like, why not? Why did you never think you were going to get it made?
Because it's a modern musical?
Exactly, I guess.
Maybe.
I mean, but like the opening scene with the highway is so cool. But again, going back to what I was going to say is like with La La Land, like I kind of knew I was going to like it. So I watched it, like, yeah, I liked it. But then like with Arrival, which is a movie that I actually was supposed to watch for our bet.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like humming and hawing over it. And I put that thing in the DVD player, and I swear to God, I didn't blink. It was so freaking good. I loved it. It was that wonderful kind of thing where it's an alien movie that isn't even about aliens at all. And I thought it was really well. I know you thought it was really slow. I thought every beat was so full, so purposeful. Everything was done really, really well. Really, I just thought it was really sweet. Loved it.
So, were you ahead of the movie about what the hook of it was by the end of it? No?
Like a little bit, definitely, because I think kind of going into it, I was watching for one. But the way they revealed everything, I think, was done very, very smart.
For me, I just felt it was a little too long, and I got frustrated that it was like, I know what the hook is. Just you should know it too by now.
Yeah.
I get that. But, you know, it's the whole thing. It's like, what are the aliens doing here? No, what are we doing here? You know, that whole idea.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
I just felt it was very meh. I just didn't like dislike it, but I didn't like it. I just felt very unsatisfied when I left the movie of like, well, all right.
Maybe I was just pleasantly surprised because I was going.
Well, your expectations were like-
my expectations were very low
Yeah.
of it, so obviously, like I was gonna.
They're pointing out Ryan Gosling did do Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And did you buy Jeremy Renner as a physicist?
I actually liked him better in that than I ever liked him in any
Really?
of them.
But do you feel
I'm sorry, Jeremy. I'm so sorry.
Anybody could have been that role essentially, though.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I could have been
I
in it,
agree
guys.
with that, yeah.
I could have been the physicist.
Oh my gosh, why weren't you the physicist?
I don't know, guys.
Gosh,
I mean, come on,
Talk to your
cast
agent.
me.
Come on.
Cast me. Now, segueing into our international numbers, again leading the charge across the world was Rogue One, a Star Wars story, adding another $56.6 million in the fourth week there.
What is Disney at? What did they make? $8 billion last year?
Yeah, including $31 million from China, and that lifts the international total to $437.1 million. And the global, $914.4 million. Yep, the $1 billion mark is coming
Good
into
old
clear
Disney.
view. And we talked about Passengers. I know you name checked
there
that
you
for a
go.
second there.
Yeah. Did anybody see Passengers?
I have not seen
I'm
it.
very curious. I haven't heard actually any word of mouth about this either.
All I've heard
I've
is
seen some bad interviews
yeah.
with Jennifer Lawrence, but I haven't
Yeah.
seen any. I haven't heard anybody talk about the movie.
But at least overseas, it's crossed $100 million. And we've also got Assassin's Creed got another $45.4 million. And so it's clearing up almost, it's well on its way past $100 million offshore. And then
I
finally,
wanted to see it. I haven't seen Assassin's Creed, but I still want to see it, even though, see, that one I have friends who I would think would, I've heard both, and I have friends who I would figure would like it, and some, it's complete polarizing on that. Passengers, I haven't heard specific word of mouth, but all the like stuff chatter I kind of heard was like, so that's why I was like,
our man with the inside word is Mark in the booth.
Hi,
Mark.
what's up?
What's up?
I was actually thank you, Frank, for queuing me in.
Yes.
I would say if you had a choice between Passengers and Assassin's Creed, pick Assassin's Creed 100%.
Why?
It is a very fun sci-fi movie, whether you're a fan of the games or not, and it has enough of a mystery and an intrigue to keep you going throughout the film. And the action is cool. It's got some cool period piece sections that are a lot of fun. And it while it is ultimately like, oh, they're trying to build a franchise out of this, it still leaves it at a point where it's a good enough movie by itself.
Okay.
And I just want people to support this movie because it's worth it.
Okay, so where did Passengers go wrong for you then?
It's really creepy.
that's what I was hearing.
I like
People
creepy.
didn't
I like
know,
No, not
like,
that
good
kind of creepy.
Okay, bad
like,
kind of creepy.
Like tip of the hat milady sort of creepy.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, the fedora thing.
Yeah, it's not don't do it.
All right, moving on.
Don't do it. Don't you dare do it. Thank you, Mark. Now, coming up next week, folks, is going to be the three films that are going to be vying for your vote for Box Office Bet. That's going to be The Bye-Bye Man, a horror thriller, Monster Trucks, an action comedy, and Sleepless, a crime drama with Jamie Foxx and Michelle Monaghan.
Are you guys excited for any of these?
I do want to see Monster Trucks.
You know, actually, the reviews for that have been surprisingly good.
Oh, okay. It looks fun.
They say it's it's more for the it's not one of those films like kids for the kid inside you as well as the kid you're taking, but it's just a well done story for the kid you're bringing. So you're not going to be seeing something that's going to be like, whoa, it really resonates as an adult, but it's just a nice story done for
fun.
kids.
Like that's what I saw the trailer. I'm like, okay, that looks like fun. I like kid
It
movies.
reminds me of Herbie Fully Loaded.
Yeah, I love that. I like the Herbie movies.
So for you guys in the chat, start taking your starting casting your votes right now. If Albin is in there, I know he's always keeping track of the
I
vote
don't think
totals.
Alvin's here today.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, a lot of people are in the chat chatting. Speaking of Underworld, going back to that, Vampire Chronicles, Anne Rice's stories are looking to be a series, not a film, because I was reading some article that Anne Rice was like, they kept trying to make a movie, but it wasn't quite working, and her stories weren't quite working in the form of a movie that they needed more. So they're going to do a series. A few people are pointing out it was, it looks like maybe on Netflix. I hadn't heard the final word of where it was going to be done, but I did hear that they were looking into doing a series.
So feel
and
like
they got
Interview with the Vampire would start to feel like, I mean, it's, vampires in New Orleans. It would start to feel so much like True Blood. as a series.
No, because they're doing more the Vampire Lestat,
Okay.
which is very different kind of thing. I haven't read that one yet, but they finally have the rights again or something like that, and that's why they're pursuing it more now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It may be interesting to see it as done as a TV adaptation where they've got
I don't
the
know.
time.
It's weird when you think about the vampire thing, though. It really feels like that was like this, like kind of burning kind of comet that burned so bright and kind of burnt out. And it feels like, is anybody really excited to kind of? It's Anne Rice. I get it, but we're talking about a Netflix crew here. We're talking about people who are click click click. They're not gonna. I don't know if they're gonna be super excited about seeing kind of going back to where we were about 5 or 6 years ago.
Like zombies are kind of the thing now. Vampires
I think even
for a little
zombies
bit.
are kind of
Zombies are
dying.
fading out. So what's the next one? That's the question.
Just Frankenstein monsters, guys.
Just like
Monsters?
more and more Marvel.
Frankenstein
That's true.
monsters.
Oh, the
More and
Mummy,
more
come
Marvel.
on, more,
Yeah, that's right.
and superheroes.
Yeah, superheroes.
Yep.
Yeah. Folks, feel free to cast away here. And the box office bet are, as I said, The Bye Bye Man, Monster Trucks, and Sleepless. And before we get into picking our top 5 or doing a box office bet, we always like to take an actor that's going to be one of the films coming out this next weekend and do a little retrospective of their top 5 opening films. And for this, I chose Jamie Foxx. He's going to be in Sleepless, so why not take a look back at his top 5
Why
films?
not?
Why not do that? Coming in number 5, Horrible Bosses.
I don't remember him in this movie.
He was the guy in the bar that was always giving them advice.
Oh, maybe I haven't.
I never saw
So
that
it's
movie.
a smaller role. Came out in 2011, 28.3 million in its opening weekend.
Going back to the Anne Rice thing, Ren Einsburn says that,
Be better if it was more adult and not campy.
yeah, True Blood's pretty campy.
Yeah, it depends on
I
how
don't
they
think True
take-
Blood isn't adult, though.
I didn't think it was camp. Well, the beginning wasn't, but I see what you mean of being darker. It depends
Yeah.
where they take it.
Yeah, especially if it's not set in the current
Yeah.
day, which is very dark.
Oh, being informed that there's going to be a Dracula reboot by Universal, I'm not surprised. Like, they'll do... Let's keep rebooting, guys. Let's do
Yeah.
it. There's been long enough time.
Well, I guess they distance themselves from, supposedly like Dracula Untold was supposed to be kind of like their initial test
They're
for
rebooting
this.
Charmed, which
but
I'm
now
so
they're
confused
saying
by.
they're
I
not
did
doing
hear
it.
that, yeah. Well, that's the thing, though, too. Like, Universal's like, well, what can we do? And I've heard they're doing the monsters.
Yeah.
Like, that's their thing that
Yeah,
they're like,
they've
let's
got a-
reboot that.
Wait, when we're talking about Frankenstein, weren't they doing something?
They're doing The Mummy
Oh, okay.
with Tom Cruise.
Oof.
Okie dokie.
Coming in number 4 for Jamie Foxx, Django Unchained came out in 2012.
Yes.
$30.1 million.
Great movie.
Yeah,
I
was
like that
really-
one a lot.
Yeah, that was really good.
I would say it's not my favorite of his, but I did
It
thoroughly
was really
enjoy
good.
it.
Yeah.
Where would you put it in your Quentin Tarantino list of films?
Oh, I don't. Probably not even top 5, but I did like it a lot. I mean, Inglourious Bastards is just one of my favorite movies.
You know what we forgot to do today? But it's okay because we didn't let Quinn know. We're supposed to, someone in the chat, thank you guys, it was an excellent idea. We need to do a top 5 movies of 2016.
Ah,
Yeah, we do.
we forgot
But
to do
you
that.
didn't know, so I totally
Yep, I totally forgot
So
to.
we'll remember
We'll do it
by
tomorrow.
next week.
Yeah, I mean next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Because we're all back. We're all back.
Yes.
But yeah, no, Django, great movie.
Yeah.
Number 4, Due Date, 2010, Warner Brothers, $32.68 million.
I don't think I saw that.
That was the Robert Downey Jr., Zach Galifianakis trying to make it across. They have to make it back in the car because Michelle Monaghan is having their baby.
Wah, wah.
And it's almost like like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but not quite as good.
I do love all the movies you guys are suggesting in the chat, Collateral, Ray, and a few other ones. Sadly, they're not in our top 5. But
No.
remember, these are what made money, not what's actually good.
I feel like Ray did make a lot of money.
It's opening weekend money, though.
Yeah.
Because some of these movies are great, like, later.
Didn't he win his Oscar for that?
He did.
Well, what are you gonna do?
He did not win an Oscar for his number 2 film, and that was Valentine's Day from Warner
I don't
Brothers.
think anybody won any award for
2010.
that movie.
$56.2 million. I mean, and that was one of those where they just bring a lot of actors.
Because they're trying to do the Love Actually. They
Yeah.
kept trying
Yeah.
to like redo that. They did Valentine. They did New Year's Eve too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe another one.
And number 1 for Jamie Foxx from 2014. The movie that ended up. Thankfully, this movie happened because now it paved the way for Marvel to get its hands back on Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, $91.6 million opening weekend. So even though that's a pretty nice.
We just made faces. We're
Yeah.
like,
It wasn't. The
Yeah.
movie irritated me for so many reasons, but I'm just glad now that it did not do well.
Such a shame. This is such a not a good reflection of his work, of his
Oh,
body
no,
of work.
not
It's
at
so
all.
frustrating.
Yeah.
I hate it.
yeah. So that's what you guys were saying. I agree. Like, we've often had this thing.
Yeah,
you
I know.
Yeah.
But hey, this is box office break. We're talking about
Yes,
That's
what
right.
box office-
numbers.
But then we, as lover of film,
Yeah.
and you guys too, then we talk about the other movies that were really good that didn't make the list.
Oh man.
So far, folks, as I'm kind of glancing over there at the chat, it seems to be The Bye Bye Man and Sleepless seem to be the ones that are kind of vying for our box office bet. But keep chiming away there in the chat about which one you want us to vote for.
Can I
whether it
say that if I lose and it's Bye Bye Man, I'm gonna have to gracefully bow out.
be you coward.
I won't see it.
Horror, because it's horror.
Go see with
Which
your roommate
one?
John
Yeah.
and have him describe everything that's happening that's too intense when you close your eyes.
He's scared too. Are you kidding?
No, make John
John's
see
a
it.
bigger wuss than
No,
I am.
make John watch it. Make John watch it.
So sorry,
folks,
I know I'm so lame, but I have
sorry.
I have to put myself first.
all right, guys, think about Quinn when you're making this bet. So, remember, we want to keep us all involved.
And
so,
I lose a lot of bets,
Yes.
so there's always a pretty good chance I'm going to be the one.
So think about it, folks. You use your best judgment when you're choosing this.
Thanks.
So think more Sleepless, think more monster trucks. Think maybe perhaps
It was
less
like a
Bye-Bye
Sleepless
Man.
in Seattle.
Oh, maybe the
Well,
Bye-Bye Man
Sleepless
is.
is a crime drama. You can do those.
I would totally do Sleepless, yeah.
Okay.
But while you guys are casting your votes, we are going to do our
boy.
predictions for next week's box office. Of course, we've got the Bye-Bye Man, Monster Trucks, Sleepless entering the arena. And then, of course, we've got Rogue One, Hidden Figures, Sing, Underworld, Blood Wars, and La La Land. So where do we think our new 3 entries will do in that top 5? What's going to get pushed off?
I wanted to make an excuse for myself because I don't. I'm looking at this list, you guys, and I have no idea what next week is going to look like. Like, I can't even begin to fathom what kind of numbers we're going to see next week. So I just wanted to say I have not been really in the box office game lately. I've obviously been paying a lot more attention to the award movies. So I'm a little out of practice.
Quinn is doing this by heart, not by my mind. So she's letting her heart do the talking right now.
I
So
think
go
it's
with your
more
heart.
just me like closing my eyes and just throwing a dart.
Go with your heart, Quinn. Go with your heart.
All right.
So Quinn, what I know I loved watching you before the show, just kind of writing down everything, which is cool. I love when you get into your rundown.
Yeah.
So let's hear it. What do you think?
I'm going to go for number 1, Hidden Figures. I think,
nice.
After I think we won some awards tonight, I can't really remember. But I think that's, it's only in its, 3rd week now, where Rogue One is in its 4th.
Yep.
So I think it's going to do well. We're going to go Rogue One 2nd, Sing 3rd, Sleepless 4th, Monster Trucks 5th.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right.
Remember what
Kari
I said,
Lane?
though, before I said that list.
Right.
Yes, Kari Lane, what do you think?
I agree. I think Hidden Figures is going to go up. Number 1, I think Rogue One will still stay around, be number 2. I think number 3, I'm going to, throw it out there. Let's put Monster Trucks there.
Cool.
Oh, interesting.
Because Sing's already been out, and
Yeah.
Monster
Yeah.
Trucks is a family film.
Very true.
We know family films do really well.
Definitely.
And then I'd say for number 4, horror movie. We haven't had a horror movie in a little bit, so maybe Bye-Bye Man there. And Underworld will be 5.
I just think that we're not seeing. I know there's no big names in Bye-Bye Man. Like there's no star power there.
No.
I'm doing it as a curveball.
Yeah, which is
I
why
like
But-
having those.
thinking it
sometimes,
won't do
guys.
as well.
But
Yeah.
if you also think like Don't Breathe, I mean, not really huge actors in there either.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
They did really well.
And that's-
No, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
I mean, like we've seen these horror movies do so well these last couple
yes.
months. Mm-hmm. It's a shame Richie's not here. That's his
Right?
I know.
Bread and butter.
That is bread and butter. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Hidden Figures. Also, Star Wars Rogue One. Ooh, this Sing.
3, 4, 5 is the hard part.
Yeah, I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
I'm gonna go with Bye-Bye Man. Ooh, no, do I think? Yeah. Well, man.
I think we can all agree
No,
we're
I
not
think
seeing big
no.
numbers next week.
No, I think I'm gonna go with number 3. I'll say Sing, Monster Trucks, and La La Land.
There you go. No
I
sleepless
think
for
La
you.
La Land's going to get some bump after, especially the Globes. It did
Yeah,
really well
yeah.
today.
You know
Yeah.
what? You're so right.
So I think it
And
could
then,
stay on
And
number
it's
5.
still in theaters everywhere. I mean, like, because it had
It is.
a little bit of a soft opening, and now it's everywhere.
What's the? Oh, man, I'm totally blanking on the name. What's the one that won a lot of awards? Moonlight.
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 That one, I was wondering if that would bump up now too, because that one's had so much good word of mouth.
I mean, it won.
and
It won
awards.
best picture tonight.
So that might
Spoilers,
also bump up
Quinn.
there.
Some
Oh.
of us are, handcuffed to AfterBuzz all day.
Listen,
They had
I
it
don't
playing
even
on
feel
the
bad
TV.
about it. Get with it or get lost.
Yeah.
All right, so all right, folks, we've reached the time where we're going to do our box office bet. In the chat, I saw some votes there for Bye-Bye Man. I saw some for Sleepless as well. I didn't really see any for Monster Trucks.
Me neither.
So,
I saw one.
and so just because we want to make sure that we...
there's Monster
one
Trucks.
for... Oh, there
I
we
saw
go.
2 for
Sleepless.
Bye-Bye Man. Well, that was a guess.
Bye-Bye Man.
Yeah.
Real quick, guys. First one, put it. Type
Yeah.
in which one we should do. I'll be like, first one.
Jamie
go.
Hubert says number 1, Rogue One. Number 2, Hidden Figures. Number 3, Sing. Number 4, Bye-Bye Man. Number 5, La La Land. So I think a lot of people think that La La Land's gonna have some legs here this next week.
Interesting, because I guess Monster Trucks is opening on 2,800 screens, and Bye-Bye Man's 2,300. But we don't have a really good horror film, so I could see that
I
maybe.
think that one.
But I also don't think it's the time of year for. It still feels like kind of like Christmas.
Doesn't
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, the
Horror
early
fans does not
Yeah,
matter.
no. Early January is a
Yeah.
nice little
New
dumping
horror
ground.
movie. Oh, let's go see it.
Yeah, I'm just curious, like with Sing and Monster Trucks, if they're gonna kind of
Cancel
cannibalize
each other. Yeah. I wonder if they'll flop there of each other. That is.
That's right. Yeah. So, all right. We're just gonna make the call here. Nobody's chimed in. Here we go. Quinn, you're back. You're new. Which of these films would you
Oh,
rather do?
there we go. First person said
Sleepless.
Sleepless, that
I
is.
was gonna say it. So
There
let's
you
do
go.
It.
We're doing Sleepless.
Thank you,
Jamie
Legion.
Foxx, Michelle Monaghan, opening from Open Road Films, 2,000 screens. Mm-hmm. All right, everybody, we're going to enter on our special numerical devices here, what we think that film's going to do this week at the box office.
Did a couple of us not say it was going to be in the top 5? Though?
I said it was gonna be 4.
I didn't
Oh,
think
you
it was
said
going to be
4.
in the top 5 at all.
So our numbers should be very different
Yes.
than Quinn's.
Right, what did Sing do last week again?
It was 19.
All right, cool.
All right,
So
here we go.
I'm gonna say.
Oh, man, so close to getting Monster Trucks.
All right,
So
what do you guys
close.
think?
All right, Quinn?
8 million.
Whoa!
you're doing all the numbers are going to be low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
At first I'm like, whoa. But 5.
Oh, I went 9. This could
So
be
I'm in the
bad.
middle.
Yes.
Yo!
Oh, why did it go so high?
I'm not seeing it.
All right. Yes. Oh boy. All right. I could have a date with Jamie Foxx. What a dream come true that would be. Boy. All right. So why couldn't it have been? I should have done Monster Trucks. Should have done Monster Trucks, guys.
You would rather see Monster Trucks over Sleepless?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
I think I'd rather see that.
Which one is shorter?
Oh.
Like, how
Yeah.
much time do I have to spend?
I just I don't know if I'm gonna be wanting to. Yeah, I just don't.
I don't know.
Like some people were mentioning in the chat, it all depends on Jamie Foxx can pick some really good projects and then he can pick some not so good
That's
projects.
true.
So I just don't know
Yeah.
what Sleepless is
You
going
know
to
which
turn out
one
to
I
be.
really liked was him in the one with Robert Downey Jr. when he played the
Collateral.
No,
that's
the
not Collateral.
cellist or
Oh, yeah.
I'll never remember what it was called, but I thought it was really, really good. You guys know which movie I'm talking
Yes.
about. I could IMDb it, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'm blanking too. I have like a visual of the cover and I'm like, nope.
Strings. It's called String.
I find myself thinking about it kind of often, so I think
Oh,
it must
really?
have really stayed with me.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Didn't
Interesting.
see that one.
I like to see just Quinn's life, where she just has this moment where she starts thinking about that movie. She's just out somewhere.
Literally, I should probably give it a rewatch.
I like
I might hate it if I watched it again, so maybe I shouldn't.
A couple people chimed in. They said 7 and 10 for Sleepless.
okay.
So somebody went higher than you.
7.5. This movie will stink. Sorry.
Oh, 7.
Oh.
Well, I said 5, so my guess was worse than yours in terms of
don't
not
know.
do so well.
But again, like this is really one of those weeks where like it's anybody's guess.
It's totally like, no.
Legion, yes, suggested saying 7.5.
And then because the soloist. Thank you.
The Soloist.
Yes.
Yep, that's what it's called. Pretty good.
Now, I guess the question too is how much will the awards affect theater going? Because there are the people who see the Golden Globes and like, oh, this won an award, I want to go see it if they haven't seen it yet. And then there's
Totally.
other people who don't care at all.
I kind of feel it kind of feels like we have like these like little small all of these really kind of smaller movies, the art movies, indie movies kind of coming in, and then you have like this one big Rogue One, or you know what I mean? So it kind of feels like you have like one thing that kind of like pile drives over, and then all the other ones are just kind of like picking up a couple million here and there.
Well, for the two of you, how much does award buzz mean to you? Does it matter? It's like, it was already on my radar, regardless of whatever the award circuit's saying.
Oh no, definitely. I think like once people start talking about it in terms of like when we're talking about best picture of the year, like maybe if I was thinking about it and then it's got that talk, I'm like, well now I have to. You know, I mean, definitely the awards talk absolutely influences what I watch.
I don't care at all, but because there's so many movies that I've said before, said again, excellent movie gets no awards, and then there's horrible movies that get awards, because there's a difference between a movie that like it did something to merit an award, but versus personal entertainment that you enjoy it. So
100%.
there's a huge
That's what I'm
difference.
saying.
Of, like,
Everyone's all of a sudden a critic. That's the worst part about award seasons. All of a sudden, everybody has an opinion about.
Or it's just they did good advertising and people saw it, and there's that too. But I think the thing is the awards brings it more on people's radar if they hadn't thought about it that much, you know? So they're kind of like, oh yeah, this one, like, I like that the awards get people who maybe it wasn't on their radar go, oh, I hadn't heard about this one. I'm going to go see it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. I think we got a really good bunch of movies this year.
Yeah. And I'll give Skye Patterson a big thank you with a great shout out. I know I'm no Richie Skye, but thank you so much. for the cheers. I'll
A
take whatever I can
close
get.
second.
No, a distant eighth to Richie Skye.
You know what? Even just being in the same conversation as him is by far all I can ask for.
And Skye Patterson starting 2017 out positively by saying it's going to be a bloodbath for movies. Thank you, Skye. Love that as well. So.
Well, another person was talking about how it's going to be a lot of the indie ones are doing well, and I like that. That's been great because then it is, these not necessarily copies and remakes and like we've seen it before movies are getting more traction and winning awards and people are seeing them.
Like Moonlight, come on, look at that.
Yeah, like that's not a regular movie that most people would be like, yeah, of course, we want to go see that one, or even heard about it. But because it's getting so much traction, people are like probably see a film that they wouldn't have normally checked out.
And to get even like nice and political about it, it's a movie that's about like a gay black kid, and it's great that people that like it's getting buzz, and that's gonna get people to go see theater, and that's how you make change, people.
All right, folks, that's going to do for this episode of Box Office Breakdown. But of course, folks, you can always subscribe to us on iTunes. Give us those sweet 5 stars. Like us on Facebook. Give us those sweet 5 stars, as I mentioned, on iTunes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. And thanks so much, everybody, for hopping in the chat. We love having you interact with us during the course of the show. If you want to continue the conversation about movies or anything in general, if you want to find out what Quinn ate for dinner after the show's over, Quinn, where can they find you?
It was pizza.
Oh,
right.
nice.
You can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian. You can find me on Instagram at Quinstagram, and you can add me on Snapchat at Quapchat.
I just think it's adorable how you say it, that you're just like, hey.
I got my little bundle.
You guys can find me online at Kari Lane, that's Karidlane. And a quick little shout out to Paper Ronnie for this awesome scarf and tank top. You can check him out on Instagram. And then I'll post a little thing on Twitter on how you can get a little bit discount on them too.
Oh, nice. And you can follow me on Twitter at Happy Good Jackie. Folks, we'll see you next week for another episode of Box Office Breakdown here Sunday nights, 10 o'clock. We'll see you then.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Kristian Harloff, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Whitworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.